as we are virtually doing now, now the work from homes are happening. So we do the same daily scrum for about 15 minutes. And if there's any kind of situation which they have to talk about, which we park it for the parking lot. And that parking lot will have another 10 minutes or something. But if there's anybody, when we are sitting together, we have that clock virtually saying, okay, how much time we're taking. But when we are doing virtually, it happens that team talks so much, or there is so much of discussion that the daily scrum timings are getting lost. So how does a scrum master make sure that they make sure that it is happening as time boxed?
Okay, now that's an interesting thing, and I would see that, do you need that? So if we see the question like this, somebody may ask you, since everything is becoming virtual and your daily scrum started taking 45 minutes, how do you handle this situation? Yeah, so for example, this is something the situation is coming to. Now, one way is that you tell, no, we will do in 15 minutes and I will put a timer, and after 15 minutes I make everybody run away. That's a possibility, but you don't achieve the goal of a daily scrum. The idea of a daily scrum is that people need to focus on and understand what is going on and what is not going on. Now, depending upon various team structure, you may start saying that we have changed the structure of our daily scrum. We only talk about the items which are blocked and which required attention, and whatever I have done and whatever I am doing is more or less on the board. So we make sure that the daily scrum, whoever participate in the daily scrum first check the board where the things are and who is and how that their interest area is getting impacted in the next 24 hours. So it's like this, I as a developer end up seeing, and I also see someone else work, and if I'm interested in that and if I have some observation about it, then I make a note. Else I just study the board first. So everybody is expected to study the board where they know what has been done and what is in progress, and if there are impediment, you get highlighted there. Now, so after the board, we may even start with a quick summary where you may have a board, jam board, or some electronic board where people talk about that these are the things I want to discuss in the daily scrum today. Yeah, so everybody get a chance to put their point first. Yeah, and then you prioritize, and you allocate 15 minutes, or you may say that we allocate 25 minutes nowadays, not 15 minutes, and you allocate fixed amount of time, more than 15 minutes, where you discuss those items in a bigger group. You facilitate discussion those items in a bigger group. And this is something you can clearly say that this is a structure we have designed with the help of team. I have not proposed this structure. This is something we retrospected on because it's not my problem, it's everybody's problem. So I am not pushing that this is how you should do, but we have agreed to do it in this particular way. So we spend 25 minutes, and after that we do a breakout discussions where we let a good amount of people go, but we do a meet after where we discuss for half an hour about something which is critical, because unlike before where we were together for the whole day and we could do discussion all the time, now everybody's remote, so these meetings are becoming important. So it's okay to have longer interaction just followed by a daily scrum, because that's the good opportunity for us to sync up for our rest of the day work. So sure. In a simple way, if I have to answer it, yeah, I have been facing this problem. What we did a quick retrospective with the team, and in the retrospective we designed a new structure for doing daily scrum, and this was the new structure which got formed, and with this structure we are getting this benefit. So something like this can emerge, and where you may have a deviation of a 15 minutes rule as well, because the 15-minute rule was not made by considering everybody will work in a remote setup.
True.
Yeah, so it's a different setup. So different setup require different rules, different way of working, and which you have adapted, because retrospective is a way to inspect and adapt. So you inspect it and adapt it. And you may not call it a daily scrum. You can say that we do meet after. So we do a quick sync up in a 15 minutes. After that, we do a meet after, and the membership of a meet after is optional. Somebody who wants to exit from the meet after is okay to go. It's an optional discussion, and only interested party stays there. So that you also ensures that we are also kind of giving some respect to the structure of Scrum. Yeah.
Actually, I said the same thing,
Mhm.
Saket. I said that I'll make sure that it is time boxed for 15 minutes only. And if there's anything which they have to discuss in the parking lot and that is also taking more than 10 minutes, then I'll ask the respective teams who are not a part of that discussion to please drop off and continue with your work. And the team which is having a problem, or the people which are having the problem, discuss with them and then try to resolve it. Like after the daily scrum, like having a 15 minutes or 20 minutes more extended time on that. And if in case that is a repetitive process which is happening, then yes, increase the timeline. But as it is a norm of Scrum Alliance for 15 minutes, and make sure that I follow that somehow. But I don't say that it's we are agile, so I have to also be sure that the agility is not going away. So we are flexible enough to make those changes in a daily routine.
Perfect. So I find all the answers good, this part. The only observation is you are owning too much. So that's the only thing I will
Yeah.
make it again. So you need to start a story that we observed it, and you are not the only one who is solving it. We discussed it. We discussed it in our retrospective, or we discussed in a special retrospective where we explored that what should we do with the daily scrum and how should we organize it. And I facilitated a small retrospective on this daily scrum challenge because we are working in a new way of working, and then we formed this. So you don't tell that I do this, I let them do this, I make the separate team. So if you do that, somebody may start sensing that you are owning too much and you are driving the whole game. This is no, I facilitated that.
Okay.
So that's the only thing. Yeah. But overall approach, it looks good to me. But yeah, taking back seat.
This I and we, the problem is when I gave a BA interviews, when I speak about we, because being a Scrum Master, they say, we, how many business analysts do you consult? So that's the reason why that I and we gets lost when I'm giving the interviews.
I'm perfect. I'm perfect. I get your point. The only thing is, in case of a Scrum Master, for example, in reality, say you may tell that I decided to do a meet after, but some of the team member, and I have seen many Scrum team members, when they are discussing in the daily Scrum and you say, no, we will do this for 20 minutes and you can discuss in the meet after. And there are some senior Scrum team members who says, why don't we finish it right now? We are in a flow, So why I don't care about the time box. I care about this value. And the senior member makes this statement and the Scrum Master looks like, okay, what do I do? These people are not respecting the time box. And it's frequently I get this query, and there are many guys who really get into a flow and they hate this time boxing things, and many times unfortunately they are senior guys. So what you do is that, okay, I understand it's not my rule, this is your rule and made for you. I don't have any goal to finish it in 20 minutes. You can run for 20 hours also, provided you get a value out of it. So that's the whole part. So I facilitated. So we got into the rule, which could be adhered, which could be enforced. Else I may become a policeman. That's the only difference. Yeah. So that's the part. You need to be a little careful whenever you give process changes related recommendation while presenting yourself as a Scrum Master. In a project management space, it still may work because you drive a lot of things. But in Scrum Master space, sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah.